Hi, I'm Mark. On July 22nd, I released SurvivalScape on Steam. The game's development took about 6 months. I participated in Steam's June Next Fest. I got almost 700 wish lists, 200 sales, 186 players. They completed 2,702 runs, and 113 hours were broadcasted on Twitch. The game's development began at the end of January. I started working on some small prototypes of an auto shooter. It felt like very quickly we found the fun, and I went and downloaded some assets off itch to add into the project. We began to design and implement a lot of the mechanics for the project, the crystals, abilities, and enemies. It felt like it was going so well, we decided to purchase the full asset pack off itch.io and began full production on the game. In the beginning of March, my wife sat me down and she and I worked together to build out a content plan of everything we wanted to add to 1.0. We began to implement our first boss mechanic, the Necromancer. Shortly after that, we updated the art and began working on the obelisk mechanic that would come later. I began work on the new ability system and added abilities to our three base classes, the Archer, Wizard, and Knight. Grinding so hard, I got really burnt out and took most of the month of April off of development. I began to prototype and develop all the classes that were in the content plan. I then spent the next weekend grinding out the remaining classes and abilities we had planned for 1.0, the Shaman, Druid, Rogue, and Beastmaster. Then something terrible happened. I was mid-patch working on the new classes, and I was less than a month out from Steam's Next Fest, and the C drive on my Windows machine mysteriously vanished, and I lost the source code to SurvivalScape. But thanks to some hard work, a new SATA cable, and GitHub, I was able to restore the patch I was in progress on and continue development of SurvivalScape. I really began to start focusing on optimization, compressing all the art assets to reduce the file size of the game. The beginning of June was my birthday, and to celebrate, we did a Discord meetup with a lot of our friends in the mountains of Pennsylvania. June 10th was the beginning of Next Fest, which ran for 7 days. I had already had the playable demo live on Steam and tried to keep hands off the game while I allowed people to play. In the beginning of July, my programming contract ended and I was out of a job. It turned out to be a blessing in disguise, allowing me to work on SurvivalScape full-time for the month before launch. The game launched on July 22nd, and I kept trying to get into a finished state for 1.0, but I kept adding more and more things to the last minute. Launch went great. There were no major crashes or errors that I had to fix immediately, but I right away began work on the next post-launch patch. Aside from some bug fixes, we did two major patches after launch. We added 8 new abilities for all the classes in the game, and we added a new class that used the abilities of every other class. I then took some time off to prototype some new ideas in preparation for the GMTK24 game jam, and I'm really proud of what we created. We made a 2D Metroidvania platformer in just 4 days. I'm thrilled with how SurvivalScape turned out. We're a month post-launch and have almost 30 reviews on Steam. In August, I started a new job as a lead software developer at a company because of my work on SurvivalScape. Check out SurvivalScape on Steam, and I'm excited to see what comes next. Thank you.